Good evening. I'm Tom Daschle of South Dakota, the Democratic leader in the United States Senate.
I'm Nancy Pelosi of California, the Democratic leader in the House of Representatives. Democrats have an unwavering commitment to ensure that America's armed forces remain the best trained, best led, best equipped force for peace the world has ever known. Never before have we been more powerful militarily, but even the most powerful nation in the history of the world must bring other nations to our side to meet common dangers. The President's policies do not reflect that. He has pursued a go-it-alone foreign policy that leaves us isolated abroad and that steals resources we need for education and health care here at home. The President led us into the Iraq War on the basis of unproven assertions without evidence. He embraced a radical doctrine of preemptive war unprecedented in our history, and he failed to build a true international coalition. Therefore, American taxpayers are bearing almost all the cost, a colossal $120 billion and rising. More importantly, American troops are enduring almost all the casualties, tragically 500 killed and thousands more wounded. Instead of alienating our allies, let us work with them and international institutions so that together we can prevent the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction and keep them out of the hands of terrorists. Instead of billions of dollars in no-bid contracts for politically connected firms like Halliburton and an insistence on American dominance in Iraq, let us share the burden and responsibility with others so that together we can end the sense of American occupation and bring troops home safely when their mission is completed. Instead of the diplomatic disengagement that almost destroyed the Middle East peace process and aggravated the danger posed by North Korea, let us seek to forge agreements and coalitions so that together with others we can address challenges before they threaten the security of the world. We must remain focused on the greatest threat to the security of the United States, the clear and present danger of terrorism. We know what we must do to protect America, but this administration is failing to meet the challenge. Democrats have a better way to ensure our homeland security. 100% of containers coming into our ports or airports must be inspected. Today, only 3% are inspected. 100% of chemical and nuclear plants in the United States must have high levels of security. Today, the Bush administration has tolerated a much lower standard. 100% communication in real time is needed for our police officers, firefighters, and all of our first responders to prevent or respond to a terrorist attack. Today, the technology is there, but the resources are not. 100% of the enriched uranium and other material for weapons of mass destruction must be secured. Today, the administration has refused to commit the resources necessary to prevent it from falling into the hands of terrorists. America will be far safer if we reduce the chance of terrorist attack in one of our cities than if we diminish the civil liberties of our people.
Our first challenge is to strengthen the economy the right way. The true test of America's economic recovery is not measured simply in quarterly profit reports. It's measured in jobs. The massive tax cuts that were supposed to spark an economic expansion have instead led to an economic exodus. To make up for the 3 million private sector jobs that have been lost on the President's watch, the economy would have to create 226,000 jobs a month through the end of his term. Last month, the economy created only 1,000 new jobs. That's not good enough. America can't afford to keep rewarding the accumulation of wealth over the dignity of work. Instead of borrowing even more money to give more tax breaks to companies so that they can export even more jobs, We propose tax cuts and policies that will strengthen our manufacturing sector and create good jobs at good wages here at home. We can also show our patriotism while strengthening agriculture in rural America by labeling all food products with their country of origin. Today, 43.6 million Americans, almost all of them from working families, have no health insurance. That's over 3.8 million more than when President Bush took office. Those Americans lucky